Red Dead Redemption 3 is reportedly in active development at Rockstar Games, and it's expected to become the studio's next major blockbuster after Grand Theft Auto. Today, we have new details coming from Take, 2 interactive discussions, insider comments, and even statements from key figures behind the franchise. So in this video, we're breaking down everything we know so far. Let's get straight into it. After years of silence, we finally have stronger confirmation that Red Dead Redemption 3 will eventually happen. But there's a major catch, and it's a big one. The next entry in the series will likely be made without the franchise's original creative lead, Dan Houser. For those who don't know, Dan Houser was one of the main creative forces behind Rockstar's biggest titles. He was the lead writer of both Red Dead Redemption games and played a massive role in shaping the stories of John Marston and Arthur Morgan, 2 of the most iconic characters in gaming history. During an appearance on the Lex Fridman podcast in December, Dan Houser spoke openly about Red Dead Redemption and the possibility of a third game. When asked directly about Red Dead Redemption 3, his response was measured but very telling. He admitted that, realistically, the game will probably happen. However, his feelings about it are complicated. According to Dan, the first 2 Red Dead Redemption games tell a complete and cohesive story, a tragic arc about the downfall of the van der Linde gang. The original game follows John Marston trying to escape his past, while the prequel focuses on Arthur Morgan's perspective and the slow collapse of the gang's ideals. To him, that story is finished. He even explained that it might feel sadder to see someone else continue that narrative because it was designed as a 2-game arc. Dan compared the idea to watching your child being raised by someone else. A powerful and emotional metaphor from someone who poured years of his life into building this universe. But here's the reality: Dan Houser doesn't own the intellectual property. He openly stated that while it's a privilege to work on these projects, you don't necessarily own them. Rockstar, and more specifically its parent company Take-Two Interactive, owns Red Dead Redemption. Dan Houser officially left Rockstar in 2020, meaning he has no direct control over the future of the franchise, and from a business perspective, the future looks almost guaranteed. Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick has publicly referred to Red Dead Redemption as a permanent franchise. He even compared its long-term potential to something like the James Bond series. Zelnick has stated on record that it would be a massive loss for the company not to continue the Red Dead franchise. And when you look at the numbers, it's easy to understand why. Red Dead Redemption 2 has sold over 65 million copies worldwide. That makes it one of the best-selling entertainment products of all time, not just video games, but across all forms of media. It generated billions of dollars in revenue and remains one of Rockstar's most successful titles ever. From a corporate standpoint, Red Dead Redemption is simply too valuable to ignore. Now the big question is, what direction could Red Dead Redemption 3 take? With Dan Houser no longer involved, Rockstar might decide not to continue the van der Linde gang storyline at all. Instead, they could approach Red Dead more like the Grand Theft Auto series, where each game features a new map, new characters, a new time period, and a standalone story. This would allow Rockstar to explore different eras of the American frontier, perhaps the early Wild West period, the rise of outlaws, or even the birth of organized crime in the West. There are countless possibilities. However, there are also signs that something is already happening internally at Rockstar. Roger Clark, the voice actor who portrayed Arthur Morgan and delivered one of the most celebrated performances in gaming history, has hinted at the possibility of a third game. Clark even won Best Performance at the Game Awards for his role in Red Dead Redemption 2. At a fan panel, Roger Clark stated that he is confident we will see Red Dead Redemption 3 one day. Now, this is not an official announcement, but it's interesting. Someone so closely connected to the production clearly believes the franchise isn't finished. That suggests Rockstar has at least discussed the future internally. Another possibility is a deeper prequel. Instead of moving forward in time, Rockstar could go further back. What if we play during the early days of the van der Linde gang? What if we experience how Dutch first met Arthur? What if we finally see the Blackwater Heist? The event that was only referenced but never shown in Red Dead Redemption 2. A younger version of Dutch as a playable character could be fascinating. It could even allow limited returns of John Marston and Arthur Morgan in different roles. However, revisiting these characters also carries risk. Their stories felt complete, and continuing them could undermine the emotional impact of the first 2 games. Rockstar will have to balance nostalgia with innovation. And realistically, Red Dead Redemption 3 is still years away. With Grand Theft Auto VI being Rockstar's main focus right now, the studio likely won't fully shift attention to Red Dead until after GTA 6 launches and stabilizes. But make no mistake, the franchise is far from dead. Between corporate confirmation from Take-Two, massive sales numbers, voice actor confidence, and Dan Houser's own acknowledgement that it will probably happen, all signs point to Red Dead Redemption 3 being inevitable. The only real question is, what form will it take? Will Rockstar start fresh with a brand new story? Red Dead Redemption 3 will benefit massively from the technology Rockstar is developing today, and this is where things get really exciting. Thanks to the massive GTA 6 leaks over the past few years, we've learned a lot about Rockstar's next generation Rage engine, the same engine that will eventually power Red Dead Redemption 3. This technology simply did not exist when Red Dead Redemption 2 was made. Rockstar's recent patent filings, especially those connected to GTA 6, reveal AI systems that could fundamentally change how open-world games work. One of the biggest breakthroughs is Rockstar's persistent simulation technology. This system allows NPCs to have their own intentions, memories, and goals that exist independently of the player. Instead of NPCs following scripted paths or repeating the same behaviors, they will make decisions based on context. They will remember what you do. They will react to your past actions, and they will change over time. In a Red Dead Redemption game, this could be absolutely revolutionary. Imagine towns that genuinely remember your crimes, lawmen who recognize you even weeks later, rival gangs that adapt their tactics based on how you play the game. If you rely on ambushes, they start expecting ambushes. If you're aggressive, they respond with greater force. The world wouldn't just feel populated, it would feel alive. Another major advancement involves navigation AI. Rockstar is developing systems that allow hundreds of NPCs to move naturally at the same time without hurting performance. Using hierarchical pathfinding, crowds can flow realistically through complex environments. Imagine riding into a massive bustling city set in the early 1900s or 1920s. The streets are packed. People part naturally as your horse moves through. Every NPC has a destination, a purpose, and a reaction to your presence. Or picture a saloon brawl where every single participant reacts dynamically instead of playing pre-scripted animations. Chairs break differently every time. NPCs adapt to the chaos. No two fights play out the same way. This level of realism would take Red Dead Redemption to an entirely new level. With all of these leaks, patents, and technological advancements, one thing is clear: Red Dead Redemption 3 will be revolutionary for gaming. There's no doubt about it. The only real question is whether Rockstar can deliver the same emotional storytelling magic without Dan Houser. That's the biggest unknown. The technology will be there. The budget will be there. The ambition will definitely be there. But the heart of Red Dead Redemption has always been its writing. Still, even with that uncertainty, the future looks incredibly exciting. A new Red Dead Redemption, powered by next-gen AI, deeper immersion, and a living, breathing world, has the potential to redefine open-world storytelling once again. Now I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about Red Dead Redemption 3 being made without Dan Houser? Do you want a sequel, a prequel, or a completely new story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more gaming news and updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.